Hewitt Tomlin here again from Team Builder. I've got Tom Newman, Director of Performance at Yale, with me today. We're going to talk a little bit more about auditing, but this time we're going to talk about auditing in the sense of reviewing athlete training. So athletes are training remotely these days. Coaches who use Team Builder obviously will have the ability to look at the workout results on a day-to-day basis. Coaches who are using other methods can probably relate to this video as well. So Tom, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do with athlete data once they actually train? I mean, I think for some coaches, it's just enough that the athlete participates, but obviously for you, you take it a step further, you actually examine the results, but you do it in a strategic way. So what's that about?
Yeah, so I think especially in today's time where everything, is data analytics, cutting edge tools, you got force plates, you've got GymAwares, you've got all these different things, you've got who knows. The most important data you have is your training log. So again, if you remember in the video we did last week, we talked about making sure that, some of your early GPP plans are about filling out the card. Right? It's not good enough just to go and just put in a number, forget to put a number, not give a feedback. So again, what we're going to show is just kind of an example when we look through the cards. And for us, typically, if we program on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Wednesday is an auditing day. So you'll go through your teams. Friday, you go through your teams so that way each week, we go 2 days at a time. Now, I can, hear people say, I don't have time for that or this, that. Again, you can make this as complicated as you want. You can make it as, detailed as you want. I think that's really just kind of a comment on what your bandwidth is. If you're one coach on 45 at a Division III school or high school, yeah, you can't comb through every single one. But, if you have a staff of 6 and, you have 3 teams and 2 of them are advanced and one of them's, more general, you can set that up. So, and that's one of the nice things. So what I want to do is just real quick, we go into these results sections and we pull a card. So let's just take a card and take a look here. So I took a screenshot. Let's just break this down, right? So what can we do? And again, we always talk about the 3 parts of designing a program. Who are we working with? What are we trying to accomplish? And how much time do we have? All those are important. So who are we working with? We're working with an incoming freshman. We're working with someone who's moderately strong, kind of knows their way around the weight room. Obviously, they're compliant, good kid, follows rules. So we're going to take a look at this. So I pull up his card. I go and take a look. Okay, he's got bench press today. So I can look and I can see this is an uppers plan, right? There's no lower body. So he's going to go uppers. And I can tell you just by knowing the plan, the following day he'd have a lower. So it's an upper-lower split. Okay, 5x5 bench press. Now, 5x5 should be at 85, but again, with some of our younger athletes, they might not have the muscular endurance to be able to hit that. But let's go through and see if he's got a straight shot. Let's take a look. Bumped up. So we know that last time he was at 190. Now he's at 195. It felt good. Definitely had great weight for me. So he goes through. So now this individual, he'll try to get bumped to 200 pounds for his working set the next time. And he might get 5, 5, 5, and then set 4 and set 5 next week, only get 3 or 4, but that's okay because we're still moving in the direction because the goal is to accumulate at least, 25 reps kind of in that mid 80 band, which has some hypertrophy effects and it also has some strength effects. Now let's go down and look at the next thing. So now he comes off benching. Okay, well, now he's got shoulder press. Okay, felt good. I felt strong. Probably could go up a little bit. Now, really important, notice the difference, and this is what we talk about, the contextual clues here. Could probably go up a little bit is a lot different than great weight. And again, if he just bumped up on that and our goal for him, say he can't bench press, we're probably not going to bump both, right? And again, too, the order of the exercise lets us know what's more important to us as far as the training effect. We have to make a choice as a coach. Now, what I can also tell you is on an individual like this, and if I know them, if their history, I want to go take a look and see what that shoulder press look like, right? Probably go up a little bit on a kid that we know is pretty aggressive. He might be telling us something that, maybe, we didn't know. And again, one of the beauties of video, maybe they say probably could go up. And as soon as they're done, they start rubbing their shoulder or they rub both of them or it just doesn't look straight, right? So again, I want to see that quality look. Barbell, supine grip felt very good. Definitely will go up next week, right? So again, look at the difference just between the 3 exercises. Chin up, felt tired here after around 7 reps, but he got 12. He got 11, he got 12. So that's great. Remember our push to pull ratio. This is where, again, if you go back to your tags and you start keeping a track of this, his ability to do that, given his current weight, weighs about 200 pounds. You have to keep an eye on that. So I can see there. Then he's got his accessory, the reverse fly, a barbell curl, felt good here, should go up. Skull crushers felt good here, could go up. Harder than the curls though. Okay, yeah, no, well, we buy that. Okay, so again, taking a look at this, some of my initial questions, and we talked about this before. What are my goals? Trying to get him to be able to bench his body weight. So it seems like he's getting close to that goal. Might be time to run into a new program, might be able to shift gears. The other thing too, this is a very strengthy bodybuilding kind of entry level plan. Maybe we start thinking about in his next block getting some of the multi-directional planes. How much time we have, this individual's 10 months out from season, so not in a super rush for conditioning, but again, maybe on some of my other days I can start adding accessories, because as he's getting stronger, we can shift the focus a little bit. But again, how long did we just take on one individual? A couple minutes. Run this through a group of 10. You can hit this, once or twice a week. And what this does, it really allows you to drill down. Now, like I said, you could go in and some of the rep schemes we saw before, I could look at the quality of that last fifth set. I could tell them to record the first set. I could go through, I could auto calculate their maxes. If I don't have time for that, I could do a force max update. So again, 8 reps of 90, 8 divided by 30 plus 1 times the weight times the reps you did. Okay, there you go. Now we know exactly where we're at as far as his max, and I can keep an eye on it. I think the important thing, especially with younger athletes, cook them slow, right? If they're making big strength gains because, just developmentally, it's that time of the year for them and they're just making great progress. Sometimes, get what you can and then throttle back. Go into some of your unilateral work, go into some stability, keep an eye on mobility the entire time, especially with the younger athletes. Again, we want them strong, but we also need that their quality looks well. And again, especially as athletes see success, they think everything's linear, right? I lifted 5 pounds more than last week. I'm going to keep lifting 5 pounds more. But we know that curve kind of bends a little bit as they become more trained. So again, you have to kind of reroute their focus. So yeah, this is just a great example of a great young card for a young man coming in. And does a phenomenal job filling out his card each week, does his videos. And again, it's a great way for us to be able to train them remotely and safely.
And just to be clear, these notes that you're getting, athletes are entering these into their Team Builder app because they have the ability to add a note to each lift. But you encourage them to do that. The reason why athletes continuously fill out notes is because they know that you're reading the notes.
Correct. And we give them feedback. One of the nice things in the journal feature, we can write a comment back to them. So I might be able to say, could probably go up a little bit. What did that mean? What did you mean by that? Hey, give me a shout, give me a call, right? So we want to keep an eye on it. And maybe it's nothing, or maybe it's, actually really important and you're getting ahead of something, or maybe the kid just knows that you care. A lot of times the athletes love it when we send them notes, positive feedback. And again, too, we're, especially in this time of pandemic, a really positive source for them. Again, the world could be falling apart, but again, the weight room, 225 is 225, as Rip likes to say. So again, we like to try to keep the guys consistent and connected in everything that we do. But yeah, when they come in the initial onboarding, notes are mandatory. Filling out your weight, what you actually did, or how many reps you actually did, or what your time was, mandatory. And then we'll put in specific notes depending on the block of whether or not to include a video or not. But absolutely, this is an example of an individual audit.
Let's take a look at this prediction table that you have up, because this is essentially your guide, your roadmap as to what you're looking for when you're even looking at the training results, right?
Yeah, so we're really lucky. One of our close friends here at Yale his name's Joe Staub. So went to UConn, worked over at Kansas with Hootie, and again, just a great mentor to our students, our staff, and everybody. And so off this, he comes and he'll do a lecture, and we'll talk about this. So this is an example. I believe this is the fight table and Prilipin combined. So, and we talk about this all the time. And I think what we tell coaches all the time. Remember, think about almost percentages as a class of drug, right? So you have Tylenol, and then you have ibuprofen. You have, all the different drugs that they have at the hospital, and really realize that exercise is medicine, right? And the right amount can do really good things, and the wrong amount can actually kill you. So we try to, when we write rep schemes or we start thinking about how we're going to approach stuff, we keep it with this in mind. So if I'm doing something between 60 and 65% of max, I need a minimum of 18 reps. Ideally, I'd like to get 24. And then on the high side, really, we don't want to go above is, 30. That's kind of a great marker. Now, can you go one over? Can you go one under? Yeah. But the main thing is the idea is you have to have some minimum effective dose. And if you're not hitting that, then you can't really expect to get a certain training effect, if that makes sense. And so when we talk about, for us, 80 to 85, 90 to 95. And again, we have other variations of the table, but it really kind of, as a young coach, starts to frame in your head how many strength exposures of 80%. So I could do 5 by 2, I could do 2 by 5, I could do 2 sets of 10. But again, if I do 2 sets of 10 at 70, that's going to have a really, different response than if I did 2 sets of 10 at 85, right? Completely different. And if you think about what I just said, 10 reps at 85, you can't do that. The number of times when we go through, and especially with our young interns, I'm going to go do 5x5 at 95%. I mean, what do you know by that? If 5x5 at 95%, A, you can't do 95 for 5 reps. B, if you could, and you did that volume, you'd crush them. So again, we are super thankful that we were given this doc to be able to go through and just have that kind of reference range. And again, does it mean you have to hit optimal every time? No. But if that's your focal point, you should. But again, if I'm just trying to touch certain strength metrics, or I'm trying to touch certain movement patterns, what does that low end look like? This is a really great table to use that, again, we can go back in. And so as we start looking at these different percentages and rep ranges, that allows us to be able to go in and say, okay, how am I going to design and how am I going to construct a workout that gets the training results that I want?
Yeah, awesome. Well, good, Tom. Anything else you want to bring up here?
Sure. Lastly, I'd like to show just kind of, again, let's talk about, we just looked at a younger athlete's workout. Now we're going to take a look at maybe a little bit more advanced one. And this is an individual on a much more aggressive plan. And so when we start to think about, what they need, it's going to be completely different than a younger guy. So you can see one of the nice things here is that this workout was actually scheduled for a different day. So this workout got moved. So I need to take a look and find out as a coach, what happened? Did they skip the workout? Were they injured? And again, don't forget, our kids have to go to work. Our kids might have an internship. But if you move the day to Saturday or Sunday, say this was a Friday lift, well, that might impact what you give them on Monday. And I think I can't stress that enough, is that what you plan as a coach may not actually happen at the rack level. So again, I want to follow up with them. All right, here. So now I got a note, felt good. Could have gotten a tad deeper on each one. Coach Newman said I needed to stop swing. 3 and 4 sets felt pretty heavy. Now, this is, again, who are we working with? 200-pound athlete, older player, junior, senior. Okay, 375 for 8, 375 for 6, 375 for 5, 375 for 3. Okay, yeah, no, I'd imagine that those are getting pretty heavy, right? So I'm not going to really be aggressive with him. And notice how he talked about swaying. Let's take a look at the video and be able to pull him up and then now start to critique it. So again, another example of using objective data to then make a subjective decision. And again, on a starter, on a senior, on a guy that's a accomplished player, play the under. I don't need him to get 5 pounds stronger, but then also run the risk. So again, with these guys, and again, for him, as he shifts into his single leg phase kind of his development, I keep an eye on these things. No comments on lat pull down. I'm going to talk to him about that. I need to know, was it easy? Could you have done 5 more? Could you have done 20 more as you went through this? What happened? All right, back, didn't feel great on the last set, so I stopped early. It was a little tight. Now, again, that's on RDL, and on his plan, he shouldn't be having that. I need to go make an adjustment now. He filled out the card, and again, this is where if your notes aren't, there, you don't know whether the 275 felt easy, whether it felt hard, but I can't stress enough that those notes really give you context. Barbell bench press, note, shoulder filled better than last week, which helped. Great, awesome. Heavy chins, 70 pounds again. So that's 70 pounds in addition to his body weight to go out, but you can see he's starting to get tired. And so again, on this plan, if he's working on strength endurance, we're okay with that. That's what we want. This is less about trying to up his max and more about trying to build out his repeated strength. And now let's go Zotman curls and triceps. Okay, I was exhausted. Okay, and then again, no notes. So biggest takeaways on this on an advanced lifter, hey, you missed 2 of your notes on your exercise. I don't know whether they were super hard or they were just right. And then I also want to follow up on, what did you mean by your back? And again, something as simple, you could sit there and analyze this program 6 ways a Sunday, but if he sat all day at his desk, maybe I need to put in more warm up. Maybe I need to put more activation, or maybe it's time that the program shifts. So again, all of these different things now come to light in this program that we wrote. And again, for someone who's 3 to 4 weeks into the plan, he's seen great success. Is it time to shift out? And then I can't stress enough to ask the kids, how do you feel? Right? I think that's one of the most powerful things that we can ask an athlete is, how do you feel? If they think this program is going to turn them into Superman or Superwoman, then that's awesome. But the best plan that they say makes them feel preachy, makes it they don't see the results. Again, you've got to have enough in your repertoire to be able to go switch into something that athletes feel like they're getting success. Because remember, nobody lifts weights just to get stronger in the college setting. It's about getting better at their sport. So if they're not connecting the dots with what they're doing to how it's going to help them, that's a great indicator. And again, the notes section and journaling section is incredibly valuable for doing that. So that's how we do an individual, both novice and advanced audit.
I suspect that when you do this on a team-wide basis, you draw inferences across the team. If you see a common theme, it tends to be apparent.
Yep. Absolutely. And again, too, people auditing gets a really scary name and, time consuming. But again, you saw the time that I took to do this. And again, for today, I'm taking the time to explain everything. The other thing too, is you'll start to know your athletes and you'll know what has historically worked for them. So you're looking for red flags. You're not looking to do micro details. So again, it doesn't have to be this big scary thing. But again, if he goes another week and hurts his back, then that's not great. If she goes another week and, her shoulder bothers her, that could be a 1 week problem turns into a 4 week problem. So again, we want to be really mindful of everything that we do, that it's moving them towards their goal, which goes back to, again, the three main questions of program design. Who am I working with? What am I trying to accomplish? And I think, auditing really helps us hone in on what am I trying to accomplish? Is it actually going there? And then how much time? I've got 3 weeks and I got a shock cycle. I got to hurry up and get somebody in shape for season. It's completely different than I have a young athlete that I've got 6 months to really craft, hone, and develop. Take it slow. If they see some strength improvements, let's shift into some technique stuff. Let's shift into some Olympic regressions. Let's shift into plyometrics. Let's go into our cutting, our drop steps, our rotations, anti-rotations, low back. There's so many things that we can add in, but it's all within the context of time and what am I trying to accomplish.
Yeah, awesome. Well, this has been great, Tom. Thanks for the help here. As I noted in past videos, people are free to reach out to Tom. His information is listed on the Yale website. If you have questions about Team Builder and how to draw these reports up, it's not hard to do. You're welcome to reach out to me and we can talk over that as well. We'll be doing more videos in the future as topics come up. And if you want to hear more things or have questions that you want to hear addressed in these videos, just reach out to us and let us know. Tom, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, guys.